Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. Then we can be assured that other nations will not treat America with respect, the respect that we deserve.
What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and as you can tell from the recent upload, this is a two upload day. I know, this is a very rare occurrence, and whoa, let me fix that, there we go. So if you don't know, I made a video earlier about the whole energy crisis. I realized that's not enough content for the day, give me a break. So today I'm making a quick prediction video between Ronald DeSantis versus Joseph Biden. Now tomorrow I'll do the Trump versus Biden prediction, but each month I'll also do a Ron DeSantis v. Biden prediction, just for fun, just to compare some things, and yeah. Before I forget, however, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes. Let's try to hit 300 likes on this video, that'd be greatly appreciated, and yeah. Sorry for kind of a later upload, just, I realized I can't leave you with just that garbage of a rant. So I'm just gonna make this video right now. So Ron DeSantis versus Joe Biden. Very interesting race, to say the least. Now, let's get rid of all the obvious states. I mean, I'm not even gonna mess around with this. These are obvious states. I mean, God, nobody with a brain would argue these states are for sure going to Ronald DeSantis. Now, for Biden, I do think, though, he wins the West Coast, Hawaii. Now, you can maybe make the argument Oregon being within 10. I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I just think it's still too Democrat as of now for it to be within 10. Illinois, of course, the Northeast, and, of course, Vermont and Maine's 1st District. And, of course, D.C. Never forget D.C. Now, there's obviously going to be a couple other safe states, because these are just the for sure, no matter what you did, you shot somebody, these states would still go the way they do. The other two Republican states, you can maybe make an argument that it may not, go 10 points to Ronald DeSantis, is Iowa and Ohio. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do better than Trump in these states, but I still think with the trends in these states alone, the fact that he would do substantially better in the Cincinnati area, the Columbus area, while with a drop-off in the rurals, you do basic math, even then, that's still like an 11-point victory in Ohio. As for Iowa, that state's gonna go 10 points either way, so it's safe Republican either way. Now let's start with the actual prediction. No more bullshit, let's get right into it. So, let's start with the likely states and I'll work our way down. For likely Democrat states, I would probably say Maine at large. Actually, Maine at large would probably be safe. Safe Democrat and Maine at large. I think Colorado and Virginia, both would be likely. Again, Colorado, Virginia in particular, I do think it will swing a bit Republican in 2024 either way. It just matter how much. I just don't think, the 10-11 point victory that Biden had in 2020 is enough, is really possible again in 2024 in Virginia. As for Colorado, bit more, nuance, as, it's a bit more Democrat than it should be. But again, Colorado, I do think will go 8-9 points either way. If it's Trump or DeSantis, I don't see much change in Colorado. I just don't see DeSantis overperforming Trump in the state of Colorado. That's just me. Now, for the likely states, I'm not even going to mess around with this. Texas and Florida are going to DeSantis. Now, Texas is interesting. After looking at some results, I do believe DeSantis will win this state by around 9-10 points. In fact, just for the argument's sake, I do think it actually will go safe Republican. It's one of those states where you can make the argument either way, but I do think the primary turnout really showed Democrats are not energizing the state whatsoever. Now, it's a question of if DeSantis will overperform Trump or not in the state. I think that's debatable. I mean, that may sound crazy, but you look at some of the data points we had in 2020, 2016, the orange man bad effect is dead. And you look at some precinct data, it's some results that Biden can't hold if he ran against Trump again. I mean, you look at the Dallas area, some of those swings are nearly impossible to replicate again. So I just don't think Texas, will be as strong for Trump as it is for DeSantis as it is for Trump. That's just my opinion. I think Trump will actually do better in Texas. I just think that some of the data points in the state do indicate that. Now, there is one state I've left up, New Mexico. I personally think that it's either way going to be like a 5-6 point win for Joe Biden. It's one of those states I firmly believe if things continue as bad as they are, which I think they will, it will be within a point. But as of now, I do think it's within, 4 or 5 points, or 6 points, I should say. So it is a likely state, but it's one of those states where people are going to be stunned what happens on election night in 2024. It potentially could flip. The whole energy crisis alone would potentially flip the state. Now, let's get rid of all the easy, lean states. I mean, also likely Maine second, forgot about that. And Arizona. These 3 states, listen. DeSantis is going to win Wisconsin by around 4, North Carolina by around 4 or 5, Arizona by 2 to 3. Now, Trump is probably going to overperform DeSantis in North Carolina and Wisconsin. As for Arizona, it's one of those things, though, I honestly don't know. I mean, it's one of those things, though, I think we got to wait till 2022 and see how some of the more Trumpian candidates do in Arizona, i.e. Kerry Lake. But again, it is against, Bozo, so I don't know. But either way, I do think these 3 states will go to DeSantis by around 2, 3, 4 points each. Now, there is one more state I will make lean Republican. That is, of course, the great state of Georgia. Guys, I have this hot take of all hot takes. I firmly believe that Georgia is going to be like North Carolina for the next decade, where it's be like, it's going to swing Democrat again, it's going to happen, and then it proceeds to swing Republican. Alright, it's be like, it's going to trend Democrat, it trends Republican by a point. I have a weird feeling about this, because the same topic about Georgia going Democrat was what Democrats were saying for a decade about North Carolina, and that's gone nowhere. So I do think Georgia, especially with DeSantis, I think we'll go to Trump or DeSantis by around 3-4 points. Now, we have the true toss-ups of the states of Nevada, Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Nebraska second. Let's get rid of Minnesota. I don't think DeSantis wins it. It's one of those states where I think that Trump will probably lose it by a point. DeSantis probably 2 or 3. Again, it's cursed. That state is cursed politically. It should not exist, but it does. So it's one of those states where it should go Republican by a lot, considering the demographics of the state. I mean, some of those rural counties, they're exactly the same as, counties in, North Dakota and South Dakota. Yet they vote, 50-50. They should be voting 70-30 Republican. I don't think DeSantis will do that good compared to Trump in those type of counties, which he needs to do that good to win the state of Minnesota. Now, Nevada. Again, another hot take. DeSantis wins a state, but Trump would do better. You will see why when I talk about Nevada in a future video. The point is, Nevada has trended significantly towards Republicans because of Trump, not because of the Republicans suddenly getting popular. No, it was Trumpian candidates and Trump himself that caused that trend. Though I do believe it will benefit DeSantis. I do think DeSantis will do good enough in Washoe County, the county that pretty much decides elections in the state, fair or not fair. You get the point. And Nevada, I do think, will tilt towards Ron DeSantis. Nebraska second. Again, I swear to God, I know this may sound nuts, but I have this hot take that 2020 was one of the biggest flukes ever in Nebraska second. You look at some of those precinct results. It wasn't just the inner part of the district where it's swung 10 points Democrat. Some of the more rural precincts swung 30 points Democrat. No, you're not going to have those same results. I firmly believe the COVID crap did influence Nebraska second the most of any state or district. Not saying the F word, I'm just saying It's true. You look at some of the precinct results, it's nearly impossible to replicate what DeSantis or Biden did, supposedly, in Nebraska's second. Now, as for the other three, I think Pennsylvania does lean towards DeSantis by around 2 points. Look, I know his energy policy in the past has been iffy, but it's been overblown. He's not anti-energy. Stop this crap that he's anti-energy. He's still good on energy, just not as base as Trump. But I do think he would get like Romney-level results in like Chester County, Pennsylvania, the Philly suburbs. I just have this feeling he would do that good there and do very, not as good as Trump in the rules, but still considerably good. Now, Michigan, though. Look, Grand Rapids area. Go look up that result. Again, Trump I still think would do better in the state, but the Grand Rapids area alone, alright, not saying the F word, I'm just saying the fact that Biden's not replicating that. That was a one-time thing. You just look at the precinct results, it's like, it's not the suburban parts, it's surprisingly the rural parts that trended like 12 points Democrats. Like, you're not gonna have that happen again. That was a one-off, and I do think Trump wins the state by like 3 points, or 2 or 3, but DeSantis still wins it just closer to like 2016 Trump margins. Now, New Hampshire. This is an iffy one. Now, I think it does tilt towards Biden, and here's why. DeSantis is a good candidate, alright? This garbage that he's a neocon, he's a warmonger, that's garbage. But it is true that DeSantis does have an iffy record on foreign affairs. Not like he's a neocon or anything like that, but some of his voting records, not necessarily that good. And I just don't think New Hampshire, especially with, DeSantis, I just don't think he would win the state in 2024. Again, it is a very anti-war state, and it is a very anti-incumbent state. So, again, if DeSantis, says, hey, I am anti-war, I want to get us out of, the Middle East and stuff, like, hey, Joe Biden has caused, all these wars, and, like, we should not be involved in any of them. It could go Republican, but I just think that DeSantis is just weak on the issue, and that's the one issue that's going to kill Biden in the state, but I just don't think it'll be enough as of now. And this is my current 2024 prediction for Joe Biden. I think DeSantis wins 313. Again, some of these results you can maybe move like a margin like 2 points right or something like that. This is just my opinion. He'll do significantly better in places like, Virginia, Colorado, well, more so Virginia, but you get the point that I think that most of DeSantis' strengths do come in states like Virginia, Oregon, Washington, Illinois, maybe Wisconsin, definitely Florida, and I think you get the point. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, smash the like button below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit the little bell, and yes, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.